The best thing that we could have done for the Devil is to not have just been like, no, we don't like baseball anymore. It's like, no, we're going to feel this and we're going to turn this pain into something greater.
This is the Dry Diaries with your author, Alex Dry. Hey guys, what's up? It's your author, Alex Dry, and I am back with another entry of the Dry Diaries. Today I have Foster Sawyer.
Hello.
He is the director of football at AP Ranch and has played football for years.
Now.
Tell us a little bit about your position at AP Ranch, what you do.
So I'm director of football operations here at the ranch in Fort Worth, Texas. We help kids try to stay in the game of life. That's why I tell my parents all the time and kids is if we can keep them busy with the football in their hand, or for us, we're running track or basketball, whatever it is, keeping them in the game of life. I love it. We have 10-year-olds all the way up to college kids. We see all types of athletes here, but young athletes is my specialty.
So for those who aren't familiar, AP Ranch is a nonprofit sports facility that was started in Fort Worth, Texas, originally by my dad.
2013, I believe.
And then Foster came on, as well as a few other coaches that run the different sports. So there's football, basketball, track, and a little bit of volleyball.
We host volleyball. We
Players.
host soccer events, but our sports are mainly track, football, and basketball. It's cool because Jonathan Gray's our head strength coach, and me and him were trained by Coach Greg. You know, Dalton trained with him. But Greg Schuller's our head director, and he's the man. It's cool for all of us to come back, and it's a true family around here.
So it's basically to help kids come train that maybe wouldn't get the opportunity to get the training, and then also jumpstart them into being seen by different coaches to help them get college scholarships.
Yeah, I would say like the mission statement's just to help them individually, whatever their journey is in life. But yeah, our biggest goal is to find a way to get school paid for. So whether that's running around in a circle in the track meet or throwing the football as far as you can, whatever that is, to get school paid for and set them up for success beyond just being the best athlete, just be the best individual you can be. So
Yeah.
we use our connections and help a lot of schools in the area in the Fort Worth that need some help.
Being the director of football, you have to have a background in football and a love for football. So where did it all begin?
That's a good question, where it began. I played multiple sports growing up as a kid. I grew up in a house with 3 brothers, one sister, and it was very competitive. I played baseball, football, and basketball all the time. From there, I fell in love with what football offered, and that was relationships. That's what it came down for me. So I played quarterback. I went to school All Saints right down the road, go Saints, and then went to TCU for 3.5 years from 14 to 17. Somewhat highly recruited, but I wanted to stay home in Fort Worth. And then went to Stephen F and finished my career there.
So what made you transfer from TCU to Stephen F. Austin?
That's a good question. I was pretty tough. The quarterback position, you have to play and get better. And I found myself, when I did play, I didn't feel like Foster. And I felt this pressure constantly over my shoulder, whether it was from myself or from people that knew me and my family. In this area, I had to just get away from this town. I love Fort Worth, love everything that came from it, but it got to the point where it really affected my mental and my game. I wanted to journey away, and that led me to East Texas and Stephen F. Austin before the transfer portal. You have to drop down a level or else sit out a year. Stephen F. was a very challenging time for me, but it was the best thing for me, adversity-wise. I had to overcome a lot, and now I'm sitting here and doing what I love.
No, I think that's the best thing. I grew up in Fort Worth, but getting away is the best thing that ever happened. It brought a new perspective. You're introduced to new people, new cultures, new things. You kind of get stuck in a bubble if you are staying in your hometown. So was it at TCU the fact that the pressure of the people you grew up around and them being there at the games and wanting you to perform?
A little bit of everything. I want to make my circle proud, first and foremost. I'm still like that today. That's all I care about. They just want me happy is what I learned. And it's not about how many touchdowns I throw. Am I doing what I love, and am I happy? The pressure I felt was just from finding my identity in each throw, in each practice. It wasn't healthy because, as you know, quarterback, there's a lot of failures and success. I started finding my identity in this game, and it wasn't healthy to the point where I could just play free and have fun and do what I love. And that's what I teach my kids now. Just do it because it's a fun sport. Like, do it for fun. Don't do it to please your parents or your uncle or whoever. That's a tough question. I think it came down to the point where I was in a spiral effect to pleasing others and coaches. I just had to disappear to be like, what does Foster want?
Do you think that came from childhood, or is it just the way that you are and who you are as a person? You're always putting pressure on yourself to be successful, perform well.
You're a high achiever too. When you do something, you want to do it to your full ability. I'm a passionate person, so it's like I'm either all in or I'm all out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's right. Sometimes it's you're trying to find that balance.
Yeah.
Today, I'm still learning that. But yeah, I would say as a little kid, school was always tough. I'm super dyslexic. I've gotten better.
I didn't know you were dyslexic.
Really?
Yeah.
So I had some trauma when I was a little kid. We lost my sister right before my birthday when I was 7. Long story short, I just started reading before that happened. And then I couldn't read for about over a year, 2 years. I was good at math. I was good at sports. So I was like, wow, I love math and I love sports because that's what I was good at. And so from there, to answer your question, that's when I started finding my identity as a kid was based on my performance because that's where I got my attention. That's where I got my affirmation. That's when people noticed Foster. In my mind, I was lucky to have amazing parents, but like, there's no better feeling than a parent being like, great job today on that baseball field. So then from there, I was like, I'm going to hold on to that feeling.
That's where you got the verbal affirmation.
Correct.
So then, yeah.
100%. And I'm the youngest. I grew up the youngest. My parents popped out my little brother, Jack. But like, when you're the youngest and when out there, you understand. Like sometimes
kind of get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Like if you don't speak up at the dinner table, you're not going to get heard. So how I got heard was sports.
Proving.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we jump into the deeper topics, we're going to do just the Dry Diary confessionals. So it's just questions for people to get to know you. As you mentioned, putting a lot of pressure on yourself, gaining affirmation through achievements. That's kind of a superpower because there's the opposite of having no motivation at all. And it jumpstarts you to be self-motivating in some ways. So if you could pick any superpower, what would it be?
That's a good question. Probably flying. I feel like time travel's too much. I would say time traveling just so I can go back and correct all my wrong bets in Vegas. But yeah, I'd probably just say flying. Just get from point A to point B. I love superheroes. That's a tough question for me. So like I feel like this should just come out. But like, I don't know. What's yours? What would yours be?
Either mind reading, which I feel like I can already kind of do that.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Wow.
Or maybe being invisible.
Interesting. Why?
Just so you can be in certain rooms at certain times and hear things that go on to get insight before they happen. My number one was always time travel, but I feel like that would give me too much anxiety because I'm already a person that plans 10 steps ahead. And so I feel like it would almost do myself a disservice to time travel.
Like reading minds would give you anxiety too, though. I don't want to be in some people's minds.
Like reading minds as in you choose whenever you turn it on and off. And I also think that the gift of media is cool, where you can touch base with people who have passed. Okay, so what's the funniest thing that has happened to you during a football game or practice?
Game or practice? There's so many. I had to keep it PG.
Or most memorable?
The most memorable, I don't really remember my championships. In high school, we won 2 state championships, and I don't remember those games. I remember the main plays, but the most memorable for me was we played Mississippi State. It was my first game after my knee surgery. Taking that field, we're playing Mississippi State. They're number 2 in the nation for defense. They're really good. And the O-line's not very good, which that's who protects me. I'm going up against a Goliath. This is at Stephen F.
Okay. And for those who don't know, the knee injury you had was I tore my
ACL, MCL, meniscus, everything.
Oh,
Yeah. But just to take that field and feel the presence of God, like I felt him, and it was such a calming experience because it was something I overcame adversity-wise. It's like the hay is in the barn. Just go play the game you're meant to go play. And like I will never I still get like goosebumps feeling about that. Like we got our shit kicked in this game. Like we got rocked. But I just remember taking that field and being with God's help and friends and family and coaches. No one could take away that feeling for me because it was a dark place for me. And it was awesome to take that field again and play something that was taken away from you. I don't know. There's some funny stories I have in college. I mean, it's never ending.
So if you could have dinner with any athlete, past or present, who would it be and why?
Past or present, professional athlete?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, my role model growing up was Tom Brady. That's gotta be one of them. Tom Brady would be pretty cool. One of the coolest guys that we've had here at the ranch people love is Jameis Winston too. Just a good energy guy. I would love to go golf and hang out with him and Tom Brady together.
Yeah.
That would be like a deal.
Anytime I think of Tom Brady, I just think of
The roast? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I watched it. It was funny. That was
Yeah.
impressive for him to take all that and not
Yeah.
even flinch. So
Okay, what is one thing you're really proud of that doesn't have anything to do with sports?
I would say my family and friends, like my friends, my circle. Maybe it has to do with sports, but I take pride in who I surround myself with, and I'm very proud of my circle. I have a lot of friends, but there's layers to it. I'm very honored, and I love the people that are in my life for sure. I would say that's probably the proudest thing. And I'm also proud of our football program at the ranch. The boys are killing it. We just won. 13-year-olds just won state. 15-year-olds are number 5 in the nation. We were number 1 at one point, but it's cool to
Well, that has to do with sports. So what do you define as a good friend?
just show up. Like, just show up. And that could be texting, phone call, just watching a game, being present. I think people try to give too much advice sometimes, or they try to be there, and that's healthy and that's good sometimes, but sometimes just being next to them, just show up for them. And then from there, I mean, at least for me, that's when you can be more open and tell them what you're dealing with. But just a good friend is doing something just because and not expecting anything in return.
So consistency?
Yeah, consistency is probably the word.
Mm-hmm.
What do you define a best friend or a good friend?
I think it's someone who's there for you unconditionally without expecting anything in return. I was just talking about this with someone, and she was saying it's hard to find anybody that's a friend these days that doesn't show some form of jealousy or resentment.
Yeah.
And if you find someone like that, keep them close. I feel like you can tell when you find a good friend through consistency of communication, but also unconditional love. They're always there for you and do things without expecting anything in return. It's never, what am I going to give you and what can I get back?
Yeah.
Which is like hard to find.
Yeah, which is
most
hard.
of everybody.
Most of the world. People say all the time, I mean, you're lucky to have 3 to 5 really good friends. I'm so happy I have those in my life. And it's also cool to be that too to people. You know? In order to have good friends, you have to be a good friend kind of thing. I think loyalty too, though.
Yeah.
That's consistency, I guess, all in the same umbrella.
Yeah. Let's say you get to make your own walk-up song for life. What would you be picking?
For life?
Yeah, just about your life.
My theme song, my walk-up theme song, Dalton probably already knows what it would be. It'd be Iris by Goo Goo Dolls.
Goo Goo Dolls.
Yes, for sure. Thank you, though.
Okay.
No karaoke today.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Probably that, or Sugar We're Going Down Swinging. I mean, obviously your country songs, but Sugar We're Going Down Swinging and Iris are probably my 2.
That's
Johnny
very
Cash.
typical boy karaoke song. If you weren't working in football or at the foundation, what would your dream job be?
Something with traveling the world, probably. Something to where I could like meet a lot of people now, which sounds crazy because if you would told me,
Yeah, I feel like that's not
me,
the typical answer I would expect.
just something different, I guess. If it wasn't this, like this is my dream job. I'm in it and I can believe it to my core.
But I feel like you don't travel a lot.
No, I don't. That's why I'm saying, like, if I wasn't doing this, a dream, like a different world almost, like something where I could travel as a businessman.
Okay.
I like sales, but it'd have to be a product that would change and help people, like maybe medical sales.
What are your goals? Is to travel?
I would say that's on my
Bucket list?
to go on vacation more. Plan it. I don't plan. Like what you're talking about, like planning, like in advance. I forgot we were doing this today. I'm just a kind of doer, but I want to travel a bit more.
I feel like you plan things out with your life and goals, but as in to-dos every day.
Yeah, I just wake up and go.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying, like, I would like to go for a little bit.
We're going to Florida. Foster's basically a part of our family at this point. He comes with us to all of our family vacations, get-togethers, dinners.
Vegas trips.
It's just expected that Foster will be there. So we just have a really big family. Foster's just an extended part of it. Okay, so now to get a little deeper, you come with the family of 4 boys and you had a sister.
Correct.
So can we chat a little bit about your sister and her story?
Yeah, it's Preston's my oldest brother. Then it's Tate. Okay, but it was Preston, Tara, who passed away, Tate, me. We grew up all 18 months apart.
Mm,
10 years later, my parents popped out Jack. So, like,
okay.
I grew up the youngest, and
Uh,
then Jack's like, we're still super close. Jack's my dude, but I grew up the youngest in the group. My sister passed away when she was 10. She contracted amoeba, a disease that went through her nose at the lake we were swimming at, and it killed her brain and put her in a coma.
That's so
So,
crazy. Did they tell you how rare something
yeah,
like?
I'm sure someone knows the statistics of how rare that would be, especially with all of us swimming in that area and the fact
Yeah.
that it was the first case that ever happened at that lake.
No way.
Then there was another one pretty quickly. I can't remember if it was a year or two. Yeah, actually, I was at SFA
Okay.
in a class, and my teacher, somehow this came up of Naegleria amoeba, and they said yes, there was a very, she brought it up towards like there was 2 cases, and one of them was a 10-year-old girl. It really shook all of us. So y'all, oh, it was 4th of July. She was talking about being safe in the lakes.
Oh, wow.
She brought it up and was like, y'all be careful. Make
Was
sure
it about your
take
sister?
yeah, she said there was a girl that was 10 years old back in like early 2000s, like to a T. She was talking about my sister. And I went up
That's
to her after class, Miss Bradley, if you're listening. It was crazy body experience too, where I was like, yeah, what you were talking about, that was my sister. And she broke down crying.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it was crazy. But
Where
I
does
don't,
the amoeba come from? Is it?
still water. So
Oh.
like heat and humidity and still water, like
Yeah.
that's how it happens. It got to the point where water would go through our nose. You know, people drink water hose, you know, in baseball, wiffle ball, and get some in our nose. And I remember my brother panicking once, like he thought he was
Yeah.
about to get it. So we had to battle through that. Yeah, just absolutely crazy. The crazy part was she just lost a World Series. I think they got like 4th in baseball. She was a badass. She played not softball, baseball. Select at that, played at a high level. And she was so competitive when she lost. That was the first place she said to my parents. I remember vividly. She was like, I want to go to the lake. I want to go to the lake and get away. Me and her are very similar in that area, which I know your family's too, how competitive y'all are. So, but that was the ironic part, was that that's where she wanted to go.
So once you guys were at the lake and the amoeba went up her nose, she got a headache.
Yep.
And shortly after was in the hospital.
Yeah, she went into our lake house and was just like, Mom and Dad, I have a headache. I'll drink some water. I remember her saying that she had a headache. All I remember is them getting in the car at the lake house. My parents were like, we're going to take Tara to the hospital. A couple of days later, we're back in Cook's hospital and she's in a coma. I didn't get to say goodbye or nothing. I remember her getting in the car and that was it.
Oh,
So,
and she was 10.
She was 10, yeah. I feel like people say this. She was wise beyond her years, to the point where it's crazy how mature she was, her presence, how much she loved God, held us accountable. My parents still talk about how Tara made them better in spirituality. She always looked out for the little person. That's why this is my dream job, because that's what the ranch is about. Like, we're looking for the diamonds in the rough, the underdog, and to protect that. So, yeah.
I remember you told me that she was a Sagittarius, because we were talking about how she had very straightforward, fiery energy.
Yeah, her birthday's in
About-
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very protective of my circle, my family and friends, like to the point where you have to earn my like I'm very protective. So with that, I'm also protective of my sister and the stories being told about her. And they're all true. Most of them, the ones that people are talking about, they just remember the good ones where it's like, she was so sweet. She was an actual angel. She also fired her. She literally threw a controller at my head after I beat her in 64. I think it was baseball game or blitz or something. But I'm talking like, I remember that vividly. She chunked this controller and it hit me right here. And you couldn't tell her anything. She's just fiery. But I remember playing a baseball game called Backyard Baseball. Put so much time and effort into it. And I lost in the World Series. And I sprint to my room crying. And she was the first one to come out of her room and be like comforting me. I remember her just like comforting me in the corner, like, it's okay. And I remember my head in the pillow and like crying, no, it's not. Like, I failed and all this stuff. And she's like, you're fine. Just that comforting big sister. So,
have you felt her presence or her spirit comforting you since she's passed?
Yeah, that's crazy you ask, because I had an experience last week.
Really?
Yeah. It was my first, like, I saw her in high school once with the baseball at church. And I'm talking as quickly as like like a Subway. Boom, like you see, not the sandwiches, like the Subways in New York, right?
Yeah.
That's how quickly you just see somebody go by. She was on the stage and it was holding a baseball. And it was the baseball that was like signed and autographed that I remember putting at her grave.
Oh.
I saw her last week for the first time.
Can you share?
Yeah, I mean, I've only told a couple of my friends, Dalton being one of them, a couple in my family, but yeah, it was an out of body experience. Just found myself went to go see Tara and my Meemaw, who I was really close to. They're buried right next to each other. And just finding, anyone that has loss, sometimes it just hits out of nowhere. Like you just kind of have this overall, just missing them, loneliness. And I found myself there and dropped off these roses. And I just kind of found myself just kind of sitting back, taking life in, and I look up in the sky and not really praying or yelling at God, but just kind of being like, how am I here kind of thing?
Mhm.
Back here again. How am I in this place mentally? Because everything's great, but just that day and stuff hit. Long story short, look down and I see my sister in this dirt, like half of her face looking at the roses. And you couldn't tell me different. I take the picture and sent it to people and they're nice, of course. And
Yeah.
that's awesome. I'm like, no. Like, no, I saw my sister. I haven't seen Tara since I was 7, but it was her like skeleton, but she was alive. And I can't explain it. And it's all within seconds. It actually made me nauseous and I had to walk away. But the cool part is Alex died. It was her face and she was alive. And I knew it instantly. It just shook me. It was the side of her jaw. Like it was everything. And she's looking at these roses. And then just taking a step back, metaphor to me, my experience, God gave me a little token to see my sister to where it is death, but it's death looking at life. And I walked away from that grave like ready to go. That's excited. Awesome. So it was special.
Did you hear her speak anything or you just saw?
It just was her teeth, her jaw, her hair.
Oh, wow.
It was like her skeleton, but it was, if you think skeleton, you think death and haunting stuff. It was like the coolest thing ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I cannot explain it.
How long was it there? Very brief?
How long? Oh, it was like seconds. It is tattooed in my brain. So much to the point where as I was telling people, I'm like, am I crazy? But then I had another step back and my mom had to remind me. She's like, no, that was meant for you. She believed me to the point where it was like, yeah, so it was cool. So I don't know if anyone has had that experience to where I believe you. Call me, text me, whatever, or if you need someone to talk to now. People always ask, do you see her? And I've seen her in dreams, but I never saw her face in dreams. It's almost as if I know that's my sister.
Yeah.
But I've never, people say if you hear their voices, like that's like God, like really tapping in to you.
Yeah.
Never had that. Like I've had the presence like looking at you here, but I've never saw her face till this time. Even if it's a skeleton, it was crazy.
I've never heard of someone having the skeletal view of it, but I've experienced seeing my grandmother, and it was the craziest thing to the point where I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy. But I ended up passing out because it was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it was happening all day long. And I just felt off. I had told people since that morning, something's not right. That night, I was closing my eyes and I could see her, but she was going away. I don't discredit it. And I think that whenever you have those signs, it's always in the moments where you need it the most, but you kind of least expect it.
100%. Well, I believe you. I'm a spiritual guy, so I think it's a God thing. He always shows up if you're just willing to. I guess at the same time, I was willing to maybe see something like that.
You have to be a little bit open-minded to be able to accept it because obviously she's one of your guardian angels. My thought is always that if someone's looking out for you as your angel, then they're going to show up in the times you need them, maybe seeing them, hearing them, or them sending you a sign, whether it's a butterfly or a bird or something like that. So
hopefully we're not crazy. I already know I'm a little crazy.
And then also she loved baseball. So to remember her and her honor, you guys started a foundation.
Yeah, youth baseball, especially back when we were kids, it was like a family in itself. I never played with Dalton. I didn't even play against Dalton until basketball because Dalton played up and Dalton's a year older than me. So me and Dalton never really crossed paths, but I know the drillers and all that stuff to the point where it's a community and a family. So when my sister passed, all these coaches and teams and family and friends just put their arms around us. Yeah. And they're like, let's start a baseball tournament in honor of her. and it probably was like 12 to 15 teams from 8-year-olds all the way up to 12.
She was the only girl, so she was like the badass of the team.
Yeah, I remember I would always play around the other team's dugouts because I like to talk some crap. And my sister was second base, so I vividly remember like her going into pitch and striking out a couple of kids, and they're slamming their helmets down, and they're like, and their dad's the coach, of course, over top dad, like, how the hell you let a girl strike you out? And I'm like, that's no girl. Like, that's Uno.
Yeah.
Uno was her nickname because she was the only girl. So everyone knew Uno. So when Tara passed, it was noticeable. I mean, we had teams from out of state be like, where's Tara?
Oh, wow.
To the point where that's when we started tournaments. Long story short, it went from 12 to 15, whatever it was, to over 500-600 teams. And when we were really letting this tournament take off. And it became the #1 tournament in the fall.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the nation, not Texas, in the nation. My good close friends or former teammates, they still send me pictures of them having the Tara trophy. Point being, she was still alive. Her legacy was still being fulfilled. And the best thing that we could have done was to not have just been like, no, we don't like baseball anymore. We're going to feel this and turn this pain into something greater. And what better honor to be able to fundraise and do baseball, do life, and help kids in need.
Did you guys see more girls start gyms?
There was a couple. I mean, I know like Alyssa, the little sister, she was a stud. You started kind of seeing a lot more. One girl I do remember was when I was already like 14, so I was older. This girl was like 10. I remember just taking my cleats off and watching. This team was like from Oklahoma or something, but the girl was a stud.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of most people's life purpose is to leave a legacy. And they work 60, 70 years to do that. And the fact that she had such a strong legacy in 10 years is crazy.
That's
and
cool.
Continues to.
Correct.
Okay, so you're 30 and single. How has dating been? What's the update?
Non-existent for me right now. Haven't been able to pursue that side. I've been on a couple dates maybe the past couple months, but we just finished our 7-on-7 season. I have like 7 teams, and it's been 7 days a week almost sometimes. So I just haven't been able to pursue that part of my life. But as single gets over here right now, dating's tough. I mean, It's not as simple as it was when you're in high school or college, where it's like, let's go grab dinner or go to a party. No, it's like you have to put effort into it, and yeah, it takes effort.
Yeah, and all of your brothers are married, some with kids, except Jack, your youngest brother, right?
Yeah, I hope you don't have a kid out there. No, but just my oldest has a kid. His name's Charles. The rest are married. So my 2 older brothers are married. The oldest one has a kid. My dad says Jack will be next, and then me.
So with all your brothers being married or having children besides Jack, you get the pressure of, I mean, not even just from your parents, but from
just life. If I'm being transparent, like being real, like if you would probably said like a year ago, like, no, we're good over here. And I am good. I'm happy in some areas of my life. But yeah, friends are having kids, or even having their second kid. I've never been envious or jealous of that. But I found myself like, oh, wow, what are we doing, big guy? Yeah. A lot of it's on me. I don't pursue that part of my life enough. I need to, because I'm so happy with my friends. But then like friends and family, like they have their lives too. And so they're, when I feel the pressure sometimes when you're going back and you're like, okay, it's about time to grow up.
But do you think it's because you live in Texas and Fort Worth where the pressure is put on a little bit more?
Fort Worth, she hates Fort Worth. No, she doesn't. But
it's not my favorite place.
Fort Worth, love Fort Worth, and I love this area specifically. It is family oriented. It is very family like. It's where you want to raise a family. For me, like that, this is where I want to be. Toledo, same thing. Whereas Dallas, these bigger cities, there's a lot more single. The pool's bigger. Does that make sense? And so you're not rubbing shoulders with people that are single, at least not 30-year-olds. Dating life.
I feel like early 30s is the new 25.
People are pursuing careers, that. And I always thought that was a cop-out, but I would like 100% say like, no, I'm so busy and I love my job. This is so much more important to me than anything in my life. And now it's trying to find that balance where it's like, let's kick ass and work, but let's also work on a future family.
It's important. A lot of guys these days, they're just dating to hook up and not really intentionally dating. The fact that you focus on your career and then you also focus on yourself, and those come before starting to pursue somebody seriously, I think it's super important because then you have the foundation of, okay, I've focused on both these things and now I feel like I'm ready, instead of just jumping into something because you think that, oh, I need to get married right now or start having kids.
Yeah, no, it does. I think there's no right timing. You have to just do it. I have some friends that are like, we're not ready to have a kid yet. In the back of my mind, I'm like, well, are you really ever ready to have a human being?
I don't think so.
It's not like someone's just going to knock on your door. You have to go pursue it.
That's my struggle.
When I'm done with work, the last thing I'm going to do is get to know a random person. I hate to say that. I want to. I'm getting that point now in life. I'm like, I'd rather hang out with family and friends and enjoy my time.
Because I don't know, the dating apps, the back and forth, it's kind
of
not on
Riola, whatever it's called.
Riola?
Yeah.
Raya?
I don't know.
I am, but I don't know. It's just like the small talk, like the back and forth of like, hey, what's up? How are you? And then it's like, what's your real intention here? Because a lot of people are on those just
I'm sure stuff like girls specifically. Like if you're an attractive woman, like guys are constantly reaching out to you. You get to filter through the ones that are just like, are you doing it? Do you want to get to know me? Or do you want something else?
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's
I feel like most of the time it's just like they want to hook up.
Yeah.
One day if you're out there. Okay, to end it, we're just going to do 2 quick listener questions. Okay, the first one, Dear Dry Diaries, I'm in a relationship with someone who's super focused on their career and I feel like they don't make enough time for us. How do I set boundaries around my own needs without seeming needy? So how does she present to him?
It's a she?
Yeah.
You're asking me to answer that? What would you say first?
It depends how far in the relationship you are. But I think just communicating, hey, I feel like we're not spending enough time together, and maybe setting one day a week to watch a movie, have dinner, whatever it is that you feel you best connect with that person.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not being needy. But if you're asking him to hang out every night or every other night, then you just have to see where each other are at in the relationship and make sure that you guys are on the same page and meet each other where you're at.
I would say keep affirming that you want to see that person. You're saying it's a girl, so she needs to keep telling them like, hey, I like where this is going. I like my time with you.
Well, they're in a relationship.
Okay, so they're in a relationship. So they do like each other.
Like they're dating.
And he's not making enough time for her?
Right.
She just needs to speak her truths, whatever that means. Like, just like, hey, this is what I want. But also from a guy perspective, and I think just a human thing, keep living your own life. Don't be dependent on your happiness on him.
Okay, so how does she not?
Go see friends. Go do things. Go be active. Not like, I'm going to get back at you. He will see that your world's revolving. And then from there, he'll be like, hey, what about dinner Thursday night? You know what I mean?
But they're already boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay, then maybe I'm taking the dating stage.
If you're dating a girl,
this is
you're in your world of dating. If you were boyfriend and girlfriend with
dating,
someone.
Okay, yeah, so they're a couple.
They're a couple.
You said dating. They said they're seeing each other.
In a relationship.
Okay. Yeah, they need to have some real conversations.
Yeah.
Like, how do we make this work? They need to pick a night that's date night.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty simple. And
I feel like that's not needy at all. But if you're asking somebody to hang out maybe 4 times a week, that's a little bit needy.
See, I like to golf, I remember my last relationship. That's what ruined my relationship. I was self-sabotaging a little bit because I don't want to I don't want to
give
be the
up
one.
Some of your things.
Yeah, but also I don't want to hurt feelings. That makes sense. Should just ended it kind of thing. So what I did was I just kept golfing and then start inviting her to golf. And then at first it was fun, and then got to the point where it's like, are you gonna choose golf or me? And part of me was like, I'm gonna choose golf.
So you're basically going to play golf so you didn't have to face ending it with her.
But I will say for the crowd, I invited her at first, but then it got to the point where it was 3 times a week, and she was like, I don't even golf. I was like, well, you should try. But
knowing that she would say no.
Correct.
That's horrible. You should have just ended it. Okay.
It is ended.
Okay, last question. Dear Dry Diaries, I've been dating someone for a few months, but I'm not sure I'm ready for a serious relationship. How do I communicate my uncertainty without hurting their feelings?
So it's tough. It sucks, but I had an interaction recently about they just said the same thing pretty much. I don't want to date. I was like, okay, totally get it. I respect that. Just be real and just be like, that's not where I'm at. Now, the tough part is, when do you get to that point, Is there date 3? Is it date 5? because you don't know if you want that or not.
I feel like if you're just out dating and you're not really dating with intention, I think you should be clear from the very beginning.
Like first date, we sit down at Chili's the first night.
Chili's?
Yes.
I am not going to Chili's on a first date.
And you say, look, hey, this is what I want in a man. This is the relationship.
If, we're going on a first date and you're in a hookup stage, like you're just going on a first date because you maybe want a casual hookup situation, I would want to know that within the first or second date, then continue to waste my time. It doesn't have to be some serious conversation. It can just be like, at this point in my life, I'm dating with intention.
Is that what you'd want a guy to say?
Yeah, or I would let them know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Is that a weird thing to do on the first date?
I don't know.
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
As a guy.
I don't know. You're asking as a guy.
If a girl went to dinner with you.
I think couple, I would say date 3.
2.
3.
3?
Yeah.
That's like so much time that you've wasted. That's
Money. Well, okay. I think it's also the vibe. If it's something pretty quick, like I like this person, I don't know. That's a good question. Probably second date would be something like, hey, I like you.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you need to like make it like, oh, we're going to start officially being together exclusively. I'm just saying we're getting to know each other with the intention of possibly dating. And it doesn't mean that I'm just going to dinner with you. I might be going to dinner with other people to get to know them, but that's where I'm at. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense. I'm learning a lot right now.
If you've been dating them for a few months and you're not sure if you're ready for a serious relationship, I don't think that you're going to hurt their feelings. I think that it's going to be more of a thing if you keep dating them.
If you prolong it, it'll be worse.
Yeah. So just being upfront and honest. All right, guys. Well, anything else you want to add?
No. Thank you for having me.
Where can people follow you?
Follow me like on social media?
Yeah. Maybe the single ladies, maybe athletes.
It's just Foster Sawyer on Instagram. That's pretty much it. The guy with 2 last names.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to another entry of the Dry Diaries. I'll see you next week.